We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Ivan Pace Jr., Minnesota Vikings linebacker. I was a big fan of him coming out of Cincinnati. He went undrafted basically due to his size. He's very, very small, but he just plays way bigger than his size. He's very physical at the point of attack, good play strength, willing to just lay it on the O-lineman, as like you can see here. Very fun player to watch. He can blitz. He's got great closing speed. He's a very good athlete. He can also avoid blocks, just be slippery down. So a guy that can take on blocks at the point of attack, but also, avoid blocks, very special. And I also thought he showed some promise in this preseason game in coverage. A few reps there where he looked pretty decent. Obviously, want to see more from there. But versus the run, he's always been instinctive. Basically uncovered here. This guard has a free lane, one-on-one out in space versus the linebacker, versus Pace here. And this is a very tough spot for the linebacker to be in when all this room to this side. He's got to attack the outside shoulder because he's the B-gap defender here. So he gets control of the B-gap, and he puts such a shock, such momentum into this guy that he's able to trip him up and get underneath. Love the athleticism he plays with here because he drops his shoulders into him and then is still able to get low and still able to help trip him up. He obviously, the lineman trips him up, but he's able to get his hand in there as well. Very, very special stuff. That's an amazing play for an undrafted guy who has a chance to really get some quality playing time for the Vikings this year. Really impressed by him. I really loved him coming out of Cincinnati, and he showed what he's capable of. In this preseason opener versus the Seahawks, was all over the field versus the run and showed some nice plays and coverage as well. Some more amazing work versus the run. Just as a Mike linebacker, he's like the single guy here at the second level. They basically have like a 5-down look, and he just does an amazing job staying patient, anticipating the cutback lane here. He feels the flow of this play. No one is, coming out to reach him right away. Just staying patient, staying square. Doesn't want to overcommit. He's staying in phase with the running back, like a yard behind him, basically. Sees him hitting the cutback lane and then gets down, meets him in the hole, squares him up. Very physical at the point of attack. Versus O-lineman, versus ball carriers. It doesn't matter. He's ready to hit you at all times. Love that about his game. Definitely a punisher out in the field. And this is just great work. Working through the trash, reading this run concept. His mental processing is really, really good. Here we get to see him take on another offensive lineman at the point of attack. He just gets downhill in a hurry. I love, like we saw him, get downhill in a hurry and then also play patient and stack and track. Here, he does another similar thing he did on the first play. So, he can win in multiple different ways. It's not just pure aggressiveness, fly down the hill. Fly downhill. And he takes on the center right here, drops him. He has this natural low leverage because he's pretty short. And he just blows that guy up out of the way, gets complete control, and then, they all meet the running back near the line of scrimmage. Basically, I think they get no gain here and maybe a yard, but he does a great job just stuffing this run instantly. Love the aggressiveness, the power that he possesses for a guy of his stature. Another pretty nice play here from Pace, not just shooting downhill, just, stacking, tracking, reading this, avoids this offensive lineman. He even loses his balance a little bit, but still gets involved making this tackle, trying to work this cutback over here, reading this. And he's just staying patient, reading through the run concept here. Looks like it's duo to me. And he takes void 75. Look how he does this with Pace right here. Wide base. And then he shoots out his hands and he just does a nice little swim chop. He gets that swim to the back of the elbow. Great hand placement. And then now he's just working through this. Gets a little bit off balance, but still helps make the tackle at the point of attack for another minimal gain. We're working coverage here. Vikings are dropping into a cover 3. He's just a middle hook defender to the field as well. Pretty good work here, just gaining depth. Like he's lower in his depth right here compared to for the run. It's a 1st and 10 situation. They go 2x2 set. He just gains his depth to the field side, and he's reading to the number 2 receiver. Number 3 works to the outside, the running back, and he just gains his depth, takes away this throwing lane right here to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Almost gets completed, but the pressure's there. Locke has to really throw it over the top. JSN really doesn't have a chance to make this play because Pace does a good job just getting back there, gaining his depth, taking away throwing lanes. Sometimes that's all you really need to do. He's active with his feet. He's active with his eyes. You can see him scanning back and forth, reading Locke, finding number 2 receiver, and then takes this away to the inside, reading this. If this ball is thrown a little more accurately where the receiver could catch it, it's a good chance that Pace gets his hand on it at least. So very good job disrupting this throwing lane, throwing off the timing of these routes just by his positioning alone. Some impressive work in cover 2. Only a tight end to this side of the field with, some guys out of the backfield. But once he sees the mesh happening, he's able to get off of this, snap his eyes to the opposite of the field, and then help take away the number 2 receiver from here. I mean, he gets completed to the flat, but he passes this off pretty nicely. This is some nice work. Once this tight end crosses his face, he passes it off to this curl flat defender. At least he tries to. This guy's a little late getting there. He could close on that now, but he gets his eyes, takes away number 2. Once he sees number 2 sort of sit on this curl, not work towards the middle of him, he's almost like, they're not playing true Tampa 2 here, but he's almost, getting back there like a Mike in a Tampa 2 a little bit. It's not true Tampa 2, it's cover 2 for sure, but he still does a good job matching this, finding where he's supposed to be on this play. Very good work, just not covering grass, being active with his eyes, his feet, taking away throwing lanes again. Was definitely more impressive in coverage than I thought he would be, because he didn't, like a lot of times in college, he didn't get a lot of work to do in coverage. He was mostly covering in the flat or blitzing a lot of the times. So nice to see him, stepping up here early on in the preseason. Here he gets to take out the running back out of the backfield just in man-to-man, and he matches this pretty well. I wouldn't have him playing man-to-man too often, but, he's a smaller, athletic linebacker. Definitely a guy who can match up versus some running backs out of the backfield. Don't want him probably splitting out wide, but here, just on, these option routes, when these running back gets maybe some angle routes, he can, get square, stays patient, and has the nice lateral agility to match it with his feet. It's a 3rd and 8 situation, him getting left one-on-one in space. Like, he has a very tough job here, actually. If the running back's, like, a decent receiver, he has, like, all this space to work with to both sides. Everyone else is working pretty vertically down the field, working seam. They have the 2 seam routes and then comebacks on the outside, and then the running back could be wide open, especially in man-to-man coverage, if he beats him initially, and Ivan Pace just does a good job matching it. We can watch from this angle as well. This is the last play that I'm going to break down. Obviously, there's not a ton of snaps to go off of. It's only preseason. He played like 30 snaps, and we did like 8 plays, which is, if he's making an impact, a big impact that is like, worthy to break down on those 8 plays, it's a pretty good job out of only 30 total snaps. Sometimes, other people have to make plays as well. You're just not involved always. But he, made solid plays on those snaps, even some more work where there wasn't really any snaps that I saw where he was like completely out of position, made a bad play, unless I just missed it. But as I was saying, just really good work, especially versus the run. He impressed me more in coverage than I thought he would. Nothing too amazing there yet. Obviously, he's still working on that. But the running plays, how he took on a lineman at the point of attack, how he could stack and track with patience, work through that trash just purely with his eyes and positioning, understanding exactly where he's supposed to be. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.